Did you know that the key to unlocking your full potential isn't found in complicated strategies or endless self-help books? It's actually simpler than you think. If you want to make smarter choices, solve problems more effectively, and grow your intelligence, you need to start thinking the pragmatic way. In a world that's full of noise and distractions, pragmatism cuts through the chaos, offering you real, actionable solutions for real-world challenges. Forget the myths about genius and perfection. The best way to approach life's obstacles is with practical, clear thinking, and that's exactly what we're diving into today. So if you're ready to unlock a smarter, more focused approach to life, keep watching. Number 1. Pragmatic thinking for smarter minds. Do you remember a day when everything seemed to go your way? You woke up clear-headed, made all the right choices, and felt like you were on top of the world. Moments like that feel magical, don't they? But why are they so rare? What if there was a way to make that kind of clarity a part of your everyday life? That's where pragmatic thinking comes in. Pragmatism isn't about lofty theories or abstract ideas. It's about figuring out what works and doing it. It's a mindset that bridges the gap between ideas and actions, helping you turn your thoughts into results. Think back to some of the best decisions you've ever made, the ones that brought you happiness or success. Chances are, those moments came from a combination of clear thinking and deliberate action. Pragmatism sharpens that process, making it easier to identify what's useful and what's not, so you can focus your energy where it matters most. Now, let's take a trip down memory lane. Do you remember solving problems as a kid? Building towers with blocks, finding ways to win a game, or even persuading your parents to let you stay up late? You tackled challenges with creativity and confidence. You didn't overthink it. You simply did what worked. That instinct is still within you, though life's complexities often bury it under layers of doubt and hesitation. Pragmatism helps us reconnect with that innate ability to solve problems and move forward. The best part, it doesn't require you to have all the answers right now. It's about starting with what you know and adapting as you go. Curious about how to harness this approach and unlock your smarter, more confident self? Let's explore it together. Number 2. Grow intelligence through pragmatism. Intelligence isn't just about how much you know, it's about how well you adapt. Imagine facing a problem, something messy, complex, and frustrating. Now imagine knowing with certainty that you can handle it, not because you're a genius, but because you know how to approach it. That's the power of pragmatism. It turns intelligence into a skill that you grow every day, not a fixed trait you're born with. Think about the last time you faced something completely unfamiliar, a new job, a tough decision, or even a personal challenge. At first it probably felt overwhelming, but step by step you figured it out. You learned what worked and what didn't, and eventually you adapted. That process of trial and error is the core of pragmatic intelligence. It's not about having all the answers, it's about knowing how to find them and putting them to use. Now, think about a lesson life has taught you, a hard-won piece of wisdom you carry with you to this day. Maybe it came from a mistake or a moment when things didn't go as planned. Pragmatism reframes those moments as opportunities for growth. Every challenge, every failure, every tough decision is a chance to learn and improve. Over time, this mindset helps you turn setbacks into stepping stones, making you not just smarter, but more resilient. Here's the exciting part. This kind of intelligence isn't about perfection. It's about progress, finding practical solutions, and building on what you've learned. Curious about how to grow your intelligence in this way? The answer lies in taking action and reflecting on what works. And that journey begins now. Number 3, think, act, the pragmatic way. Every big idea starts as a spark in your mind. but ideas alone don't change the world. Actions do. Pragmatism teaches us a simple rhythm. Think, act, and learn. It's not a one-time process. It's a cycle that powers growth and success. Think about a time you tried something new, like learning a skill or tackling a challenge you'd never faced before. Maybe it was intimidating at first, but as you kept going, you figured it out. Each mistake taught you something. Each attempt brought you closer to success. That's the pragmatic way. Start with what you have, take action, and adjust along the way. It's not always smooth, and it's rarely perfect, but it works. Do you remember the first time you rode a bike or tried to build something as a kid? You didn't overthink it. You just started. You wobbled, you fell, you got back up, and eventually you succeeded. Pragmatism taps into that natural, fearless way of learning by doing. It's about taking the first step, even when you're not entirely sure of the outcome, and letting the process guide you. Over time, this mindset becomes second nature, helping you approach challenges with confidence and clarity. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes, like building a muscle. What's exciting is that this approach isn't just for big decisions. It's for everyday moments where clear thinking and practical action can make all the difference. Ready to explore how to adopt this mindset and change the way you approach life's challenges? Let's dig deeper into this way of thinking. Number 4, real-world problem solving. Made easy. Problems are everywhere, aren't they? Big or small, they have this knack for showing up when you least expect them. But here's the thing. What if solving them didn't have to feel like climbing a mountain? Pragmatism teaches us how to approach real-world problems with a clear head and simple, actionable steps. Imagine facing a frustrating situation, like a broken appliance or a last-minute project at work. At first, it feels overwhelming, but when you pause and focus on one step at a time, things start to fall into place. That's the magic of pragmatic problem solving. It breaks down complexity into manageable pieces and shifts your mindset from "I can't" to "What's the next step?" Do you remember a time when life threw you a curveball? Maybe you had to make a tough financial decision or navigate a sudden change in plans. In those moments, solutions don't appear out of thin air. You figure them out by trying, failing, and adjusting. Think back to childhood, when problem-solving felt more like a game. Whether it was fixing a broken toy or finding creative ways to sneak an extra treat, you didn't freeze under pressure. You acted, learned, and adapted. Somewhere along the way, many of us lose that instinct, buried under stress and overthinking. Pragmatism helps us reclaim it. What's fascinating is how simple questions can unlock solutions. Ask yourself, what's the root of this problem? What's one thing I can do right now? The answers might surprise you with their simplicity. This way of thinking isn't about being perfect, it's about making progress. Whether you're solving an everyday issue or a life-changing dilemma, pragmatic problem-solving is a skill you can sharpen. Ready to make real-world problem-solving second nature? Let's explore this together. Number 5, pragmatism. The key to clear thinking. The world can feel like a noisy, chaotic place, can't it? Every day we're bombarded with information, choices, and opinions, pulling us in different directions. In this whirlwind, clear thinking becomes a superpower, a way to cut through the clutter and focus on what truly matters. Pragmatism offers that clarity. It's not about overthinking or chasing perfection. It's about simplifying the complex and acting on what works. Imagine standing at a crossroads in life, unsure which path to take. Pragmatism helps you zoom out, assess the situation, and take the path that's not just logical, but effective. Think back to a time when your mind felt clear, maybe during a quiet walk, gazing at the stars, or enjoying your morning coffee. In those moments, decisions feel lighter, simpler. Pragmatism helps you create that clarity, even when life feels chaotic. It's about learning to prioritize, to focus on the essentials, and to trust the process. Do you remember a tough decision you had to make in the past? Whether it was about relationships, work, or a personal goal, you likely found clarity by asking yourself, what's practical? What will bring the best outcome? That's pragmatism in action, turning mental noise into focused thought. Here's the intriguing part. Clear thinking isn't something you're born with. It's a skill anyone can develop. It starts with questions like, what's really important here? And what's holding me back? The answers may be simpler than you expect. As you learn to think pragmatically, you'll discover the power to navigate life's challenges with confidence and purpose. Want to master this skill? Let's dive deeper into how pragmatism can transform the way you think. Number 6. Actionable wisdom for growth. What's the use of wisdom if it just sits in your mind gathering dust? True wisdom isn't about knowing, it's about doing. Pragmatism takes the knowledge you already have and turns it into actions that lead to growth. Imagine feeling stuck, knowing what you want but being held back by fear, doubt, or overthinking. Pragmatism helps you break free from that loop, encouraging you to act, learn, and grow. Think about a time when you took a leap of faith, whether it was starting a new job, learning a skill, or stepping out of your comfort zone. It wasn't easy, but it taught you something valuable. That's actionable wisdom at work. Now, let's get nostalgic. Remember when you were younger and the world felt full of possibilities? You didn't wait for the perfect moment. You just tried. Riding a bike, joining a team, or even crafting something out of nothing, you learned through doing. Somewhere along the way, we often lose that fearless spirit, replaced by hesitation and over-analysis. Pragmatism rekindles that mindset, reminding us that growth comes from action, not perfection. What's exciting is that this kind of wisdom builds over time. Every step you take, every mistake you make, adds to your toolkit for navigating life. Pragmatism teaches us that it's okay to start small, to fail, and to keep trying. Growth isn't about giant leaps. It's about consistent, meaningful steps forward. Curious about how to cultivate this mindset and embrace actionable wisdom in your life? Let's break it down together. Number 7. Pragmatic steps to mental sharpness. Have you ever experienced a mental fog? You know the kind, where everything feels hazy and making decisions feels like wading through thick mud. It's frustrating, isn't it? But what if you could clear that fog and sharpen your mind like a blade? Pragmatism is the answer. It's not about complex strategies or trying to become a genius overnight. It's about taking simple, actionable steps to keep your mind sharp and focused. Think about the times when you felt most alert and engaged. Was it when you were tackling a task with purpose, or when you had a clear goal to work towards? That's what pragmatic thinking can do. It keeps you focused on what matters, helping you make decisions quickly and confidently. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Think back to school, when you had to remember facts, details, or even formulas for a test. But you didn't just memorize them, you understood them. Pragmatism helps you keep that mental clarity, allowing you to learn, adapt, and apply knowledge with precision. As we grow older, life becomes more complex, and our minds often become cluttered with unnecessary information. But by practicing pragmatic steps, like breaking tasks into smaller pieces or focusing on one problem at a time, you can keep your mind sharp and stay ahead of the curve. Mental sharpness doesn't come from working harder, it comes from working smarter, and pragmatism is the tool you need to do just that. Now, imagine tackling challenges with mental agility, able to switch between tasks, adapt to new information, and make quick decisions without hesitation. That's the power of pragmatism in action. It teaches you how to optimize your thoughts, focus on the essentials, and keep your mind clear and sharp. Curious about how to implement pragmatic steps to boost your mental clarity? Let's dive deeper and unlock the secret to a sharper mind. Number 8. Adapt, learn, succeed with pragmatism. Change is the only constant, right? Life throws curveballs at us all the time, whether it's a shift in career, a change in relationships, or new challenges that push us out of our comfort zone. And yet, most of us hesitate when it comes to change. We get stuck in old habits or fear the unknown. But what if you could embrace change with open arms, learn from it, and use it to fuel your success? Pragmatism teaches us exactly that. It's not about avoiding change, it's about adapting to it, learning from it, and moving forward with confidence. Think back to a time when change seemed daunting, but in retrospect, it turned out to be the best thing that could have happened to you. Maybe it was a career change that led to new opportunities, or a tough breakup that ultimately led to personal growth. In those moments, you had to adapt. You had to learn something new, and you had to make it work. Pragmatism shows us that the key to success lies not in avoiding change, but in being flexible and learning from every experience. The more we adapt, the more we grow. The more we learn, the more successful we become. What's exciting about this approach is that it's within your control. Every time life presents a new challenge or shift, you have the power to choose how you respond. You can either resist or adapt, and pragmatism shows us that adapting leads to growth and success. Ready to embrace change and make it work for you? Let's explore how pragmatism can guide you to not just survive, but thrive in an ever-changing world. Number 9. Pragmatic habits for smarter choices. Life is a series of choices, isn't it? Every day we make hundreds of decisions, some big, some small. And let's face it, not all of them are the best. We've all made impulsive choices in the heat of the moment, only to regret them later. But what if you could develop habits that help you make smarter, more thoughtful choices? Pragmatism offers the framework for exactly that. By embracing practical, actionable habits, you can improve the way you make decisions and consistently choose what's best for you. Let's rewind for a second. Think about a time when you made a choice you were proud of. Maybe it was the decision to stick with a difficult project, to save money instead of spending it on impulse, or to prioritize your health. It felt good, didn't it? That's because pragmatic habits encourage us to make decisions based on what's practical and beneficial in the long run, rather than on short-term emotions or distractions. By adopting small daily habits like pausing to think before reacting or evaluating decisions based on their long-term impact, we can build a solid foundation for smarter choices. Now, think about how your life could change if you made smarter choices every day. It's not about grand, life-changing decisions all the time. It's about consistently making better choices, no matter how small they seem. Pragmatism teaches us that every little habit we build contributes to our overall success. Whether it's choosing to take a break when you need it, setting clear goals, or learning to say no when necessary, these small decisions add up. Curious about how to develop these pragmatic habits for smarter choices? Let's take a closer look at how you can start today. Number 10. Real solutions, real intelligence. In a world full of problems, it's easy to get lost in complexity. Everywhere you turn, there's a new challenge to face, a new issue to solve, and an overwhelming amount of advice telling you how to approach it. But have you ever stopped and asked yourself, what's the simplest, most effective way to handle this? Real solutions don't come from overthinking or complicating things. They come from understanding the core issue and finding a practical way forward. That's where pragmatism shines. It's about cutting through the noise and focusing on what truly matters, allowing you to address problems head-on with clear, actionable steps. Remember a time when you found a solution that worked, not because it was fancy or complex, but because it was grounded in practicality. It could have been fixing something at home with just the tools you had on hand, or solving a work problem by simplifying your approach. Pragmatic thinking strips away the unnecessary and focuses on the real, actionable steps. It's this simplicity that often leads to the best results. Real intelligence doesn't always mean coming up with a grand plan. It's about finding solutions that work in the real world, even if they seem small or simple at first. Think about it. Intelligence isn't about knowing everything. It's about knowing how to approach a problem, break it down, and take the most effective action. Pragmatism allows you to do just that. It's about focusing on practical, real-world solutions that lead to tangible results. Whether it's handling a work crisis, making a tough personal decision, or tackling a long-term project, pragmatism helps you cut through the confusion and focus on what truly works. Ready to discover how pragmatic thinking can provide real solutions to your everyday challenges? Let's dig into how to embrace practical intelligence and see real results in your life. If you've made it this far, drop a thumbs up. This shows that you're part of the 0.01% who stick with something until the end. That's the first step toward making real, lasting change in your life. Pragmatism is all about taking action, adapting, and learning from every step you take. So if you're serious about applying these principles to improve your thinking and achieve real results, make sure to subscribe to the channel. You'll get even more practical insights and actionable strategies to help you take control of your future. Remember, success isn't about knowing everything, it's about doing what works. So keep applying what you've learned today and start seeing real progress. If you're ready for more, hit that subscribe button and join us on this journey of growth and practical wisdom.